He took the class last time.
Oh, okay. Without,
Yeah.
Fish,
Okay, we'll wait.
fish, the boys were here yesterday for. It's so good.
Did they?
They did, you know, but they are funny and. engaging.
Yeah.
And it's all Brad is coming down.
Nice.
You know, it was awesome.
Love that. Bill, you're gonna take a Kim Jackson class? I love that. Good. And it's not that long. We just hit the, yep. So we have a couple more people. It's all about being compliant, which with Keller Williams as agent.
Well, and there's a lot to know too. It's like how you do your commission, and, you know. Each situation is different. Yeah.
Does anybody in here flip?
I used to, I haven't flipped it. Like, houses, you know, live in them and redo them.
Yeah.
And you have experience. I know, I have to think that, right?
Yeah.
I can't just.
But selling it your own property as a realtor with Keller Williams, there are steps you have to take. Yeah. Hi, I'm Kim.
Hi, I'm Heidi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm out of the Stillwater office.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, welcome everybody. We'll get started. So this class today is how to buy and sell as a Keller Williams agent so that we're compliant in our office and we don't get in trouble. Very important, especially nowadays. There's a lot of stuff out there that could get you in trouble. So let's start. Who are flippers in here? Nobody? You just said, but you've done a couple in the past.
Yeah, but on our own.
Okay. So this would be more too of if you're going to buy a house, flip it, or buy an investment property, sell it, how to protect yourself. And we'll kind of touch base too on buying a house. So let's say right now you and your family, you're a Keller Williams agent, you're going to buy the house. Let's go by that, how to be compliant. So the first thing is you fill out a standard purchase agreement like you would with any other client. Make sure that you do a home inspection. This is super important. As realtors and brokers with Keller Williams, we have to have home inspection with every property that we buy or sell, okay? Even if it's as is, even if you're okay with the condition, you need to hire an inspector and have it in the file and sign it, okay? Let's say they already did a pre-inspection, that's fine. Sign it, put it in the file. Also, when we fill out the Minnesota purchase agreement and also on the WV11 for Wisconsin, line 460 on the Minnesota purchase agreement, you need to put that buyer is a licensed KW agent. Also on your closing worksheet that we give to admin, if you're using Nikki, who's a fantastic transaction coordinator, make sure that they know that this is your personal property that you are buying. Also let title know that it is your personal property. And then also too with buying, we were talking like for commissions, some people will take the commission if it's offered 2.4, 2.7, whatever, or some people don't take it and they apply it to the closing. So you're paying less for it. Figure that out with title. And then for that with admin, all of the other paperwork remains the same. Okay, here's another caveat to this. If it's a flip property that you're buying, you're going to hold on to it for 6 months, flip it, sell it. You're not staying in it with your family. Then you don't have to do an inspection because you're selling it down the line, and you don't care the condition, right? You don't care if there's leaking in the basement because you're going to remedy that. You have contractors that will take care of stuff. So at that point, you do not have to have a home inspection. But if you're going to live in it with your family, you have to, because a year down the line, 6 months, you're going to wish you had that and have it. Okay, and then, and that's the other thing, insurance, you will not be covered if you do not have that in your file. So you want that in there if you're keeping it. If it's as is and you're selling it, you do not have to have it. Any questions about buying your own property? Okay, here's the next thing. This is the most important stuff, so I'm gonna grab my notes for this. So now you have your home, you flipped it, you're ready to put it on the market. Key things that you have to do before you list it. So listing MLS input form. Make sure that you add on line number 303 that agent is an owner, okay? Because you're an owner. And then also in public remarks, you know, when we get to the end of this, and we have public remarks, make sure that you put on there, you have to offer a home warranty, okay? Anytime we sell a property with Keller Williams, our own property, you have to have a home warranty and you have to pay for that yourself. Even if they don't want it, you still have to. And the company that I use, that I like, and you can use anyone that you like. We have, you know, Cinch, HMS, there's a bunch of different ones, but you have to have this and put in public remarks. Home comes with a 1-year home warranty. And then you also tell admin and you pay for it because you have to have that, even if they say no. That's so important.
So if they don't want it, you have to give it to them.
You have to. You have to.
You just said,
There are people that are like,
so you
no.
just buy it, and typically, for your agents, I buy it sometimes for the first time.
Yes.
Inspection, and then work at closing. Pay for it. Because if we don't close, right, it just
Okay.
expires.
Yep, buy it.
So,
To be compliant with E&O insurance for Keller Williams, if something comes up in 6 months, you bought them a home warranty. Has to be in there. You have to do that. Here's the other thing. Have to do, we'll get to that. You have to do a home inspection on the house. If they don't want it, just like right now, we're selling our own personal property. They didn't want a home inspection, doesn't matter. You need to hire an inspector, have it done, and then have them sign that they've gone through the inspection report. Because if they take you to court and it's E&O insurance, you've had a home inspection. So they knew that these things were wrong or not wrong, and you can fight it that way. But 2 things you have to have: a home warranty when you sell and a home inspection. Even if they don't want a home inspection, you have to do it and have them sign it that they reviewed it. Otherwise, if they have their own home inspection, make sure it's by a licensed contractor, and the whole report shouldn't be their friend that came over and looked at it. You want a report, everybody signs it, that's in the file for Keller Williams. Those are the 2 most important things.
So you do your
Yes.
inspections when you go live.
Absolutely.
And then most of it, I know you've done a lot of stuff. So most of the time they accept that inspection, or do they do their own?
A lot of times they do accept it,
Okay.
but if they want to do their own, fair enough. Go through it. If they want you to fix items, fix it. Go back in and, you do your amendment. We fixed this, have it all in the file, but there has to be an inspection, whether you pay it for it or they pay for it. You have to have an inspection. I do like to do a pre-inspection on my own stuff because then it's peace of mind for me too. Then I can go through and figure out what needs to be done and then fix it and just, it's peace of mind too.
Yeah, and then you start your negotiations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so in the public remarks, on this form when you're filling it out for the MLS at the very end, just say home comes with a 1-year home inspection, which is huge. People like that. And then, okay, this is also very important. Everybody needs to know this. When you're filling out the property disclosures, when you list your property, we all have to do that. Do not do the alternative disclosures. Do not. In any other case, if you're selling for somebody else, you're not involved, and they're selling grandma's house, they died, alternative disclosures are fine. They never lived on the property, it was a rental, alternative disclosures are fine. When you are selling your own property as a Keller Williams agent, you have to do the regular disclosures and fill it out, even if you did not live there ever, or you've only had it for 6 months or 3 months. Fill out the regular disclosures and make sure you write at the top, owner is an agent on the disclosures. That's huge. And then you'll have it on the counter, you'll upload it under supplements. And then going back to when, listing, you know how we said public remarks comes with a 1-year home warranty? Up in agent remarks, not in public, but agent remarks. Put up there too, owner is an agent, so the realtor knows. Over. Keller Williams, we over disclose because you don't want to get in trouble and you want to be covered by E&O insurance if something comes up, because stuff definitely can come up. So yeah, very important. Regular disclosures, regular. Don't ever do the alternative. Okay, so then disclosures, we did that. We added that owner's an agent, buy a 1-year home warranty. And even if they don't like yours, let's say it's an Edina agent, right? They say, oh, we have our own. That's fine. Just buy a warranty. I don't care who you get it from. Buy it. Make sure you have it. And then we just talked about the inspection. Have to have an inspection. Closing worksheet. Make sure that, you know, title knows that it's your property, that you had all that. Same. Oh, let's talk about this too. This is super important. Hogger. Okay. When you are selling your, we love hoggers and we can do hoggers, but if you are selling your own property as a KW realtor, do not do a hogger. Hogger is when you get both sides of the transaction. So you have it on the MLS, you're doing an open house, a couple walks in and they say, we want to buy the house from you. Well, if you were selling that for somebody else, you would be like, yay, I get both sides. Not when it's your own property. You do not, because if you have to go to court, you're not gonna represent yourself and then the buyer, right? It just doesn't make sense. And the judge is gonna be like, what are you doing? You can't do that. So what I would recommend in that situation is call a friend that you work with in the office and say, hey, so let's give everything over here. Yep. Let's give it to the back corner and we can definitely, Jackie will take, yep, call Jackie. She'll, but no, seriously, call somebody else in your office. Yes. And pay her yes, that's so important. And pay Jackie a 20% referral fee. Mm-hmm. Or she would actually probably do it for 2%. $100 fire loan. Bottle of bourbon, she's done. No, but that's another thing that's super important. Okay, you can't hog it. You cannot do both sides when it's your own. You just cannot. I know it's tempting and you want to, but you can't. In fact, right now we're selling ours and they don't have a realtor. They don't want a realtor. I'm like, okay, so I made them sign an agreement. You are representing yourself. Yep, and I have it right there in the amendment. So-and-so buyer is representing himself. Kim Jackson is only representing herself as the seller, just to cover.
How's that transaction going? I mean, is it hard for you to not advise a buyer?
Nope, because he's done a couple commercial deals. He's not licensed, and he goes, I do not want to involve.
Right. So he's savvy. He's a savvy buyer.
Correct. And he just said, you know what? I don't need a realtor. I'm like, okay, but you're representing yourself. And I said, I don't recommend that. I could find somebody. Said, nope, I'm just going to do it myself. So there's an amendment on that in the file. And again, I closed October 28th, but we do have, he also didn't want a home inspection. I did a home inspection. I made him sign off on it. And then there's a home warranty that comes with the property the day we close for a year. So those are the important things. Thank you. What? Yes. Yep. Yep. In Wisconsin. Yep. Okay, so any questions on selling your own property? Also too, you know, if you're selling for a family member, let's remember you need to write, like if it's your mom or dad or sister, like, or kids, close. Cousins, I don't, cousins, I don't think, I mean, obviously maybe write owner or agent is related, up in agent remarks, but more if it's your kid, you know, your parents, your child. Yes, I would write on the disc, just cover your butt again. Yeah. Okay, so this is a recap. This is a fast class, isn't it? But we get right to the point. So again, let's recap. Always disclose you're an agent. Always have a home inspection. Always fill out the regular disclosures. Always purchase a home warranty, and I should add to that, never represent yourself on both sides. Always have Jackie help you with the other side.
There you go.
So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. No? But this is, and again, this is just for
So,
Keller Williams to be compliant with our broker.
So when you're doing a flip,
Yes,
right, you have to fill out the regular disclosure, but you've never lived there. You just dispose of that. Flipped, did all these 25 things, but never lived there.
yes, because a lot of them, when you look at it, a lot of it is unknown, or you go NA. So I will say unknown. Now, if I have the disclosures from when we bought the house,
There you go.
upload those, but sometimes we buy them and they're the alternative disclosures.
Yeah.
Also upload that as well. The more information you can give the new buyers, the better. They're gonna already look up on the MLS and see what you bought it for. They're gonna see the pictures before and after. So just disclose everything. And the other thing too is, let's remember, if you're flipping your own property, you guys, I know my husband and I have done probably 15 now. You gotta be careful because you've gotta pull permits. You wanna be compliant with which county you're in, which state you're in. Minnesota, Wisconsin, you've got to go by their codes because you've got to pull permits. So my husband's a licensed contractor, but you've got to have an electrician that's licensed, that has a master, that can pull permits. Same with HVAC. You've got to have your ducks in a row with that. I think people think they can go in and do their own stuff, and you can't, because there are parts on the disclosures that talk about were permits pulled. And you don't want to lie. Yes, they were, because they're going to look at that.
You think you have to,
Yeah.
just to make sure they're closed. then
Yes.
permit prior to the title being transferred.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that could be a hiccup.
'Cause you don't- You don't want any liens against the property.
So my question, but now I and what if didn't have like add that.
Okay.
And made it to code.
Talk to your,
What do you do? What do you
I
do?
would say talk to your local ordinance in your town, because it just depends. And there's some cities that don't care. You can, right?
Yeah.
Because you own it.
Yeah.
But they're kind of strict right now because of GFIs and all that, and even a deck, you're supposed to have a permit for a deck. So I would just talk to your local city, go down to the city, and they might say, hey, you know what? It's gonna cost you $20. Let's just write this up. We'll have somebody come out and inspect it.
Oh.
I don't know. So but just make sure you guys are pulling permits and doing all your work.
If we sell that.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of like Maplewood Truth in Housing that does not count as an inspection.
Mandatory for title.
Correct. Yeah, so if it's like, we all know what that is, right? Okay, so let's talk about that. Truth in Housing, you have certain cities. And actually, I think it's on our closing sheet. They can get it for you. So there's like St. Paul, Maplewood has Truth in Housing, where you have to have the local people come out, inspectors for like St. Paul. And there's a list of different contractors on the St. Paul website. Before you list a house, you have to have that Truth in Housing on the counter.
They in that regular listing. Yeah. On that checklist, the listing, what, like, Park is a point of sale.
Yep.
That checklist has those cities on.
Yes.
That's a very nervous thing. That's
Yeah.
in parentheses that this is
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, right here. So I have, so the big ones right now are in the update that's. Brooklyn Park, Golden Valley, New Hope, Richfield, Robbinsdale, St. Louis Park, and Wilson.
And in Rollins Park, you have to have sewer scopes too.
Same with
Yeah.
St. Paul. You gotta kind of know your little cities and the sewer scope, and then your seller pays for that, you know. But those do not count as a home inspection. So they're two separate things. Keep that in mind. Yep. But just when you're listing a house, it's really good to look at this Minnesota checklist. Look at the bottom and you'll know which cities need the truth in housing, and then your seller pays for that, and you've got to have that report on the counter before you can sell that house. Because I'll tell you what, if you don't have that, you will have realtors that bring clients through, buyers, and they'll say, hey, where's your truth in housing? Very important. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So it's great. It's great money to get a flip and flip it and just be compliant and
What about financing? around homes? Like, is there anybody who's that understands, you know, let's assume you're not doing cash. Okay, some of us don't do cash. You might have to bridge it, or are there any?
okay, so keep that in mind. Usually when you're buying a flip, what's the condition? It's horrible, right?
As is and all appraisals.
So, well, conventional financing is going to cover that. I mean, FHA, you're going to have safety stuff. Remember, FHA is paint and
So most of our,
windows.
we can't find
conventional you can.
conventional.
Or people get a home equity loan.
Okay.
Yep, that's a good one, and then you pay that back. Or cash. Yeah. Yep. Done a lot of these, but yeah, FHA, USDA, remember that's a government-backed program, and that's safety. That's, and remember that too when you're listing a house, FHA. So like every flip we do, we make it where it could be FHA, but if you have broken windows or peeling paint, it is not going to be approved. Yes. Yes. So also be careful with that. Yes.
So what's the best way?
Best way to get into flipping is have good people good contractors, right? And find an area that you like, and just to get the best deal you can on a house. And see what's out there. Look at these ones that have been on the market for a while. Right now, it's really hard to find investment property because everything is so overpriced. And then the margin at the end is not very good when you go to sell it. You're not going to make. You're also paying out a realtor, right? 2.7. So you got to remember that's coming out. It's been a challenge the last year to find good flips. Like to find them word of mouth, or if you have a friend, a family friend that maybe grandma's going into a nursing home and she hasn't touched the house in 20 years, those are great, you know. But the last word of mouth, just tell people you're looking for something. My husband can do mold, you know, he's licensed in doing mold, he likes water in the basement, or he likes run, but
What about free foreclosures?
foreclosures,
We can run that.
right.
This too, free foreclosures.
Yeah, but just make sure you have a good electrician. You could do conventional, or again, a line of credit, like on your own property that you have right now. You could get maybe $100,000 line of credit. You still have to buy it, and then you also need the money to flip it, right? But at the end, yeah. And there are good flipping programs. Actually, Bell Bank, I mentioned these things, but they have a good flipping program. There are lenders, and ask them, what do you have? If you qualify, they'll, yeah, give you the money for it. But always have good contractors, HVAC, plumbers, those are the three. And go to the city too and find out what are your, you know, if I want to flip this house, what do you want? You know, go to the city. Always go to the city. Especially if realtors never- You can, I would just see, I'm gonna tell you St. Paul, they've got crazy codes, there's pockets. they're strict, they're very strict, so kind of know what you're getting into. Anything else? Well, thanks for coming, you guys. Yes, and if you have questions about flipping or buying investment properties more, if you want more in-depth information, call me. Kim Jackson, I'm on Stillwater, 651-334-5586, or you can email me at kimjacksonhomes, HOMES, @hotmail.com. I've been doing Minnesota, Wisconsin with KW the whole time for 16 years, so that's quite a bit of business. Yes, 16 years. It'll be 17 in April. And I've been with KW Premier the whole time. Love it here. Yeah. Don't have anything in my file that thank goodness. 651-334-5586. And if you guys come across a good flip that you don't want to know about, call me. I would love to. All right. Well, thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
And then the next one is Zach,
Yep.
right? That's going to be amazing. So, okay. All right. I'll tell him he can stop the video.
Backed up where goal setting for 2023 will be happening in about 30 minutes in this room.
Well, that got me to 12.
It did.
Okay.
Grab some lunch and coffee.
Thank you, Kim.
Yes, of course.